Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines, presents this presidential citation to Alexandra Ayala.
The cameras inside Malacanang Palace captured a moment that quickly spread across the Philippines, but what happened beyond those few emotional seconds tells an even greater story. Standing beside President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Eala held a framed presidential citation in her hands. Normally calm and confident in front of microphones, she admitted that this time was different. Her voice trembled as she thanked everyone for the recognition, trying to hide the emotions that had built up over an unforgettable few weeks. It was a rare sight. The young tennis star who had battled the world's best players without fear suddenly found herself overwhelmed, not by an opponent, but by the realization of how far her journey had taken her. Only days earlier, she had been competing under the brightest lights at Wimbledon. Now she was standing inside the country's highest seat of government, receiving one of the nation's greatest honors. The transformation happened so quickly that even those closest to her seemed amazed. Her parents watched proudly from nearby seats while government officials and invited guests applauded. It wasn't simply another awards ceremony. It was the celebration of a historic achievement that no Filipino tennis player had ever reached before. Alex's remarkable Wimbledon campaign completely changed the conversation around Philippine tennis. Entering the tournament without the spotlight focused on her, she quietly prepared to challenge some of the biggest names in the sport. Then came the performance that shocked tennis fans across the globe. She defeated one of the tournament favorites in straight sets on center court, producing fearless tennis that left commentators searching for words. Every powerful ground stroke, every confident serve, and every composed point showed that she belonged among the world's elite. That stunning victory wasn't just another upset. It announced that a new star had arrived. Fans who had never followed tennis before suddenly became invested in every match she played. Social media exploded with support as millions celebrated her success. Television stations interrupted regular programming to report on her incredible run, while newspapers across the Philippines placed her story on their front pages. For a country known for producing champions in boxing and weightlifting, tennis suddenly became the sport everyone wanted to talk about. Although her journey ended in the round of 16 after a hard-fought battle against Jasmine Paolini, the defeat did little to diminish what she had accomplished. She had already broken records that many believed would stand for decades. Her performances pushed her to a career-high world ranking of number 28, making her the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player in history. It wasn't just a personal milestone. It was proof that a Filipino athlete could compete with and defeat the very best on one of the sport's biggest stages. That ranking carried far more meaning than a simple number beside her name. It represented years of sacrifice, countless hours of practice, difficult losses, and unwavering belief. Every early morning training session and every challenge she faced away from home had led to this moment. The world now viewed her as one of the top players on the WTA Tour, and expectations for her future only continued to grow. When President Marcos welcomed Alex to the palace, he openly admitted something that made the occasion even more memorable. With a smile, he joked that there had never really been a protocol for honoring a Filipino tennis player at this level, because the country had never experienced anything like it before. His lighthearted comment reflected a deeper truth. Alex had achieved something completely unprecedented. The nation was celebrating a milestone it had never imagined possible. The presidential citation recognized not only her success on the court, but also the inspiration she had become for millions of Filipinos. It praised her determination, discipline, and commitment to excellence, highlighting how her achievements had brought pride and international recognition to the country. More importantly, it acknowledged that her journey was encouraging a new generation of young athletes to dream bigger than ever before. As Alex listened to those words, she shifted the attention away from trophies and rankings. Instead of talking about victories, she remembered where everything had started. She spoke about her late grandfather, the man who first introduced her to tennis and spent countless afternoons training alongside her after school. She recalled arriving at practice wearing ruffled socks, light-up shoes, and carrying the excitement of a little girl who simply loved hitting tennis balls. Those memories instantly connected with millions watching across the country because they reminded everyone that every champion begins as an ordinary child with an extraordinary dream. For many viewers, that simple story became the emotional heart of the ceremony. It wasn't about fame or records anymore. It was about family, sacrifice, and remembering the people who believed long before the world noticed. Her grandfather never had the chance to witness her standing inside the presidential palace, yet his influence could be felt throughout every word she spoke. His lessons had shaped not only her tennis career, but also the humility and gratitude she displayed during one of the biggest moments of her life. As the applause echoed through the ceremonial hall, it became clear that this recognition represented much more than a sporting achievement. It marked the beginning of a new chapter for Philippine tennis. Eala had opened a door that had remained closed for generations, proving that Filipino athletes could compete successfully on the biggest tennis stages in the world. And while the ceremony celebrated everything she had already accomplished, everyone in that room knew her journey was only getting started. The ceremony also highlighted something even bigger than one athlete's success. For decades, tennis had never occupied the same place in the Philippines as sports like boxing, basketball, or weightlifting. Those sports had legendary champions, strong support systems, and generations of fans. Tennis, however, had rarely been part of that national conversation. Eala changed that in just a few remarkable weeks. Children who had never picked up a racket suddenly wanted to learn the game. Tennis clubs reported growing interest, and countless young athletes finally had someone they could truly look up to. President Marcos made it clear that the government wanted to support her journey moving forward. He praised not only her victories but also the humility she displayed despite her rapid rise. He spoke as both a president and a fan, saying he hoped to watch her compete again someday, whether at a Grand Slam or even during a practice session. His words reflected what millions of Filipinos already felt. Alex had become more than a successful athlete. She had become a symbol of hope, discipline, and national pride. The presidential citation itself carried special meaning, because it recognized her as the first Filipino woman to achieve unprecedented success on the international professional tennis circuit. That wording wasn't accidental. Every sentence acknowledged that she had reached a level no Filipino had ever reached before. History had been rewritten, and her name would forever be connected to one of the greatest milestones in Philippine sports. What makes Alex's story even more inspiring is that her rise wasn't built on one lucky tournament. Her breakthrough was the result of consistent improvement throughout the season. Earlier in the year, she captured important titles, climbed steadily through the rankings, and proved that she could compete against experienced professionals week after week. Wimbledon simply allowed the entire world to witness the talent that had been developing for years. Every tournament added another layer to her confidence. Every difficult opponent prepared her for the next challenge. Instead of fatting after one big result, she continued proving that she belonged among the world's best players. That consistency is what separates great champions from players who enjoy only brief moments of success. Her emotional speech also reminded everyone that behind every ranking is a personal story filled with sacrifices that fans rarely see. Long before television cameras followed her career, there were countless mornings spent training while friends enjoyed ordinary childhoods. There were injuries, exhausting travel schedules, heartbreaking defeats, and moments of self-doubt that never appeared on social media. Yet through every obstacle, she continued believing that one day she could represent the Philippines on the biggest stages in tennis. That belief is now inspiring thousands of young Filipinos. Many children watching her journey are realizing that international success isn't limited to traditional sports anymore. They see someone who grew up in the Philippines, worked relentlessly, and reached the highest level of professional tennis. That example has the power to change how future generations think about what is possible. Perhaps the most remarkable part of the ceremony was that it celebrated not only the past but also the future. Alex is still only 21 years old. Most professional tennis players continue improving well into their 20s, meaning her greatest achievements could still be ahead of her. Reaching world number 28 is an incredible milestone, but it may not represent her limit. Many analysts believe she has the talent, determination, and mental strength to climb even higher if she continues developing her game. Her next challenge is already waiting. With another major tournament approaching, there is little time to celebrate before returning to intense training. The world's best players will be preparing to stop her rise, but they now understand exactly what she is capable of achieving. She is no longer viewed as an underdog capable of surprising opponents. She has earned the respect of the tennis world and enters every tournament as a genuine threat. The expectations surrounding her career will continue growing, but Alex has repeatedly shown that pressure brings out the best in her. From local courts in Manila to center court at Wimbledon, every step of her journey has strengthened her belief that she belongs among the elite. That confidence cannot be handed to an athlete. It must be earned through years of hard work, and she has done exactly that. As she left the palace carrying the presidential citation, she wasn't simply taking home another award. She was carrying the hopes of an entire nation that now believes a Filipino can compete for the biggest titles in tennis. The ceremony marked the end of one unforgettable chapter, but it also signaled the beginning of an even greater adventure. Every match she plays from this point forward will inspire millions who see their own dreams reflected in her success. The story of Eala is no longer just about rankings, trophies, or historic victories. It is about changing expectations, opening doors for future generations, and proving that determination can rewrite history. Her remarkable rise has already transformed Philippine tennis forever, yet the most exciting part is that this incredible journey is still unfolding. With every tournament ahead, the possibility of even greater achievements grows stronger, and the entire tennis world will be watching to see just how high Eala can climb next.